Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. Peep Squad is going to the top, to the top, to the top, baby. We're going to bring others with us, so please become a part of Notification Squad. Peep Squad, hit that notification bell, baby. So let's get into it. Let's talk about NeNe Leakes in some way, kind of comparing herself to George Floyd, which is very, very, very bad and a very, very bad mishap on her part. We know that she wants attention. We know that she wants to bring awareness to the mistreatment that she has received, and also bring awareness to the race issues over there at Bravo TV and at Bravo's network too as well. And maybe she could have threw George Floyd name into the situation because she wanted to bring attention to him too and his situation, but she's almost seeing, it's like she's almost comparing herself to George Floyd and what he went through, and it's a total different situation when you talk about gang up on. His was very much physical, and it was because of his race, and it's because of people thought they had power over him. And basically this is why we having all of the different protests that we do have across the United States and across the country and across the world too as well. But for NeNe to compare herself to that was like doing way too much. And this is when people pull back from NeNe, because people want to empathize and sympathize with NeNe, but she goes over the bridge, and she jumps over the bridge, and she gets into a boat, and she keeps going, and then she goes to a ballet show. Like, she's doing too much. It's just too much. Like, we know that you're hurt, and she's actually shown us that she's hurt, but to compare yourself to George Floyd is basically the wrong thing to do at the wrong climate, and it gives people a very bad taste in their mouth about you, NeNe, where people will just write you off. And this might be an issue for your employment at Bravo, unless you just want to leave Bravo, but you want them to fire you so you can sue. I don't know. But yeah, she has been doing a little bit too much with this interview, so let's just check this out. I'm just like, NeNe, come on, girl. You're doing too much, baby. Like, way too much. Like,
Of the show that I just don't feel is necessary to do to make a great show. It was just too negative. One, two, I felt very ganged up on. And for all of you out there who can say they don't know what ganged up on is, Google the definition of gang up. Gang up is more than one person on a person at the same time. George Floyd was ganged up on. So, no, he was physically ganged up on. And I have felt verbally ganged up on many times, and that is not fair to me.
And so with that situation, yes, she felt like she was verbally ganged up on, and George Floyd was physically ganged up on. And we totally get that, and we totally understand. We can't take away the way that she feels about the situation, but to compare herself and her situation to George Floyd, he's not here. He can't talk. He can't do interviews on Instagram. He can't do none of that stuff. And it was because of his race. It was because of who he was as a person. And this is something that has been going on, where we have been prejudged by the police, and the police making it their job to basically be judge, jury, and everything else, and they walk away from a situation with taking our lives and everything else like that. And NeNe, you're on a show that you can easily walk away from. This TV show, you're being paid to be on this show. You want to be on this show. You said this show is your baby, and therefore you have spoke out a lot before the reunion started, basically saying, come and get it at the reunion. You're gonna see this. You're gonna be Floyd Mayweather. You came at Candy, I'll see you at the reunion. Kenya Moore, I'll see you at the reunion. I'll see y'all at the reunion. And basically you open that door for you to be gang up on. Basically you put it out there. You let the breadcrumbs for you to be gang up on verbally, because now you're beefing with everybody. You have an issue with people. People have an issue with you. When it comes to Eva Marcel, she jumped up into the situation because she wanted her camera time, and basically she was boring all season, and she wanted to shine at the reunion, and you was the easy target because you have said things about her, outside of the show, basically saying how you feel about her, and she responded at the reunion for that situation. And the situation between you and Candy, you said you were not coming after Candy. Candy said yes you was, and you think Candy created a problem with you when there was no problem. So now you have that situation, and you were going back and forth with Candy Burris too as well, and you have been going back and forth with the other ladies. So it's just like, at the end of the day, there's no way that you didn't know that these ladies were going to target you because you put the target on yourself by going from Instagram to Instagram to Instagram interviews and talking about the ladies and addressing situations because you bad and you bold, and you felt like, you know what, I'm giving my fans what they want. They want to know what's going on. They want to know how I feel, so I'm going to tell them. And you surely did. But in the meantime, in between time, you collected some enemies too as well that you were filming with. And so therefore, you know, you opened that door to that situation of being ganged up on, because how come nobody else was ganged up on? You know, it was you, because you had an issue with Kenya Moore. You know, you threw stuff at her, you had an argument, and basically you felt disrespected by Kenya Moore because you opened up, you know, apology or olive branch to Kenya Moore. She basically refused, and then you went off. And then you had an altercation with her, and then the situation with Candy, most of it was off camera, wasn't even on camera. It was YouTube videos back and forth and Instagram posts back and forth too as well. And even though Kenya Moore said negative things about you online, you said negative things about Kenya Moore online too as well. And then when it comes to the Eva Marcel, you know, you gave Eva Marcel that branch where she can use to swing at you because you were talking about her off camera, because you guys really didn't have a problem on camera, and Eva Marcel knew that her time was looming and it was almost up, so she showed up at the reunion. So you left these doors open for these people to come at you. You know, you didn't have to have a situation with Candy Burris. That didn't have to happen. You could have just ignored her like you said you was in the beginning, but then, you know, you responded back to Candy too as well. So that door was left open, and it was just like, you know, and Eva just jumped in because she wanted a piece of that, but that's different. You knew what possibly could happen. You know how these reunions go, and if you're beefing with more than one person, chances are when one is asked the question, the other person is going to jump in, and you open that door for that to happen to you too as well. Not saying it's right, because we wanted to get out, we wanted to hear more of what you had to say and get down to the situation of everything that was going on between you and Candy and Kenya Moore, Cynthia Bailey. And yes, at the first part of the reunion, when Kenya Moore was asked questions, or asking questions towards you, or basically answering questions that had to involve you, who jumped in? Eva Marcel. Yes, she jumped in, but at a moment you did have Portia that did have your back and was going toe to toe and battling with the ladies too as well. It's something that you guys are paid for, something you guys are prepared for, something that you got dressed for and you was ready for it, and everything else like that. You told us online that you ready. Tune into the reunion. You even had your reads ready too as well. They was written down too, so you knew the chances are that these ladies are not going to be kind and sweet and humble towards you. No, they wasn't. They, you know, they came at you, and it's something that you were ready for. George Floyd didn't know that the cops was coming at him. He wasn't ready for it. He didn't get paid for it. You know, he wasn't looking for the situation. You knew what was going to go down. It's very poor taste for you to compare yourself to George Floyd. You could have just said that you felt ganged up on, and this is the definitions of being ganged up on. You should have said that and left it as that. Or you could have said, I was ganged up on and it felt bad, and that's it. And then you could have moved on to a different part of the interview and said that, you know, Black lives do matter, which you did say in this interview. And you can also say that it was wrong for what happened to George Floyd, but trying to compare yourself to a verbal and a physical aspect, it leaves a nasty taste in people's mouth that you are fishing for empathy, you are fishing for attention, and you're doing it the wrong way. So like I said in the beginning, I don't know who your publicist is, I don't know who your managers are, but they should basically be there when you're doing these interviews so they can cut some shit out, because it's not a good look. And it looks like you're trying to take the attention of what's happening to you and try to bring George Floyd situation into your situation to intertwine, so therefore people will have more sympathy and people look at you as a victim and being hurt. And you know, we already see or have already seen the reunion, and we understand, yes, you were ganged up on, but we as people are not comparing your situation to George Floyd's situation, because your situation is entertainment and you signed up for it, and it's very poor taste for you to do that. And it's just backlash that you are going to receive, just like the backlash that you talk about racism and you talk about being unfairly treated, but yeah, you were running around town on Instagram with Kim and you called her a racist, and people believe that she is a known racist. It's like NeNe just be doing way too much, baby.
And I've asked for that to not happen constantly, and it has continued over and over again. Now, if you and I are battling verbally, you and I are battling verbally. I can't say that someone won't jump in and say something. I'm not saying that. But when it's three and four people, and when this show has five and six women on it who are supposed to be showing their lives and their business and their highs and their lows, why am I being the only person attacked here? Why am
And I can understand where she's coming in, but basically she's talking about her. I can understand where she's coming from, but she's talking about her perspective and her situation. And if she wants to compare herself to George Floyd, she could, but it's going to leave a nasty taste in people's mouth. And it's also going to make people think there's something wrong with NeNe. And she really thinks that, she has that God complex, that she's comparing herself to George Floyd. And, these beefs and these altercations that you do have with the cast members are some part your fault too as well. You're not innocent in the situation. So therefore, if they want to come at you more than one at a time, they can. Just like if the shoe was on the other feet, if you had a situation with somebody and then, Portia jumped in or somebody else jumped in and attacked that person verbally, or basically not even attacking, just telling how you feel, voicing your opinion, can they say that they're gang up on too as well? Most likely, yeah, but the situation is very shady, and it's very, very poor taste and poor judgment for you to compare yourself to George Floyd. And I believe that this will be used against you in the future, especially with Bravo.